Imagine walking into a barber shop, picking three numbers as a way to try to put food on the table. Sure, most of the time you'll lose it, but it only takes one time to earn enough money to feed your family. This illegal gambling operation provided many jobs to folks who couldn't find work. And in Harlem, New York, it was ran by the Queen. Stephanie St. Clair was born in the West French Indies on December 25th, 1897. Stephanie's mom worked hard to send her daughter to school at a time when education felt like a distant dream. When she was 12 years old, Stephanie's mother became very ill, causing young Stephanie to have to leave school. She made it to New York in 1912, picking up English along her way. Her first scrape with the law was to try and sell drugs with the help of her boyfriend Ed. After making $30,000 in the illegal drug trade, she decided it was time for her to part ways with her man. Ed had different plans as he tried to strangle her. Unfortunately for him, she cracked his skull against the table and he died. Just as the old saying goes, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. After killing her boyfriend, she spent months employing her own men, paying off police officers, and investing $10,000 of her own money into an illegal gambling lottery in Harlem. Due to her success in the game, she earned the name of Madame St. Clair. Madame St. Clair was involved in policy banking, which meant a mixture of investing, gambling, and playing the lottery. Banks at this time wouldn't accept Black customers, so they had to find other ways to invest their money. The numbers game, as they called this illegal lottery, was a male-dominated industry that provided many jobs to them when work was scarce. St. Clair was able to amass a fortune of $20,000 a year in the 1920s, or $3.3 million in today's money. Madame St. Clair would take some of this money to release ads in the local newspaper, educating residents of their legal rights and bringing light to the police brutality at the time. Officers responded by arresting her on trumped-up charges, and she spent 8 months in custody. In response to this, she testified to the Seabury Commission about the kickbacks she had paid police officers. This resulted in the firing of more than 12 officers. After the end of Prohibition, the Mafia started to see a decrease in profits on alcohol and decided to get into the Harlem gambling scene. A man named Dutch Schultz decided to beat and kill numbers operators who wouldn't pay him for protection. St. Clair and her bodyguard, Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson, refused to pay protection to Schultz. St. Clair attacked the storefronts of businesses that ran Dutch Schultz gambling operations. The police found out about Schultz and raided his house, arresting more than a dozen of his employees and seizing more than $190 million in today's money. After St. Clair's struggles with Schultz, she decided to go legitimate and pass her illegal business to Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy negotiated with Lucky Luciano a deal that would send a percentage of Schultz's old business going to Bumpy. Lucky would have to go to Bumpy first if he had any issues in Harlem. Schultz was fatally wounded in a shooting that was ordered by the Mafia in 1935. Although St. Clair wasn't directly involved in the hit, she sent a telegram to Schultz on his deathbed saying, "As ye sow, so shall ye reap." Because yeah, she was that kind of woman. The telegram reportedly made headlines across the nation. By the 1940s, Johnson became the king in Harlem, and Madame St. Clair became less and less involved in the numbers game. During her retirement from the numbers game, St. Clair became involved in political reform. In the late 1930s, she met her husband, Sufi Abdul Hamid, who was a labor leader most known for his role in the business boycotts in Harlem that protected against discriminatory employment practices. Hamid went off to have an affair with a fortune teller named Fudum. Madame St. Clair found out about this affair and shot down Hamid in cold blood, ending their marriage. St. Clair was sentenced 2 to 10 years in the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for women in New York. After her release from the prison in 1940s, Madame St. Clair lived a secluded life as a prosperous, legitimate businesswoman. She wrote columns in her local newspapers about discrimination and the police brutality facing the Black community. In 1969, shortly after her 72nd birthday, St. Clair died quietly and wealthy. Bumpy Johnson, who had come back to live with her and write poetry, died 1 year earlier. Even after all the fame, her death was not mentioned in any newspaper of the time. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the Eclectic Historical Society. We hope you enjoyed this video, and you can support us further by joining our Patreon and buying merch at our website, eclectichistoricalsociety.com. This is the Eclectic Historical Society, and remember, history is lost if it isn't repeated. And until next time.